All right, let's see here. I got my piece of cardboard with my notes written on it. I've got a pen, got a Dr. Pepper. I got an array of some really good looking handguns. I've got a big fan going on the other side of the barn. It is hot out here, folks. The air is just stagnant, humid, and you start sweating as soon as you get out of the air conditioning. So bear with the background racket. You might hear some horses or chickens or whatever. Also, it's just the way it's going to be. Those of you that are familiar with the channel have grown accustomed to all the noise by now, and I thank you for putting up with it. One of these days, I plan to get the little shop here insulated and put some sound deadening in here, and maybe that'll help. But until then, put up with it. All right, here we go. Folks, today's video is for the Kimber Mako. You see this nice case here? This is a really handy little range bag. Guy that I work with bought this the other day. Impulse buy, middle of the night. Alcohol may have been involved, I don't know. Kind of show you what we got here. In addition to the Kimber Mako R7 pistol with a Mission First Tactical holster, if you can see down in there, there are 4 extra magazines. Those are the extended capacity magazines. Now, Kimber does market the R7 Mako as having a 12 round capacity in the flush fit magazine and 14 in the extended baseplate magazine. This particular pistol, I'll show you a close-up right here, came with 10 round magazines. So while yes, there might be some available that have higher capacity magazines, this one has a 10+1 round capacity. Before we go any further, as I always like to do, show you here, folks, this is a safe and empty weapon. Bright orange magazine follower, nothing in the chamber. It will remain that way for the remainder of this portion of the content. So when my buddy told me he bought this, I was excited to get my hands on it because ever since they came out with these like a year and a half ago, I've been looking for them in the stores, and I had never seen one in the wild until he handed me this one. Those of you that have seen reviews that we do here on the channel before kind of know what I do with a pistol like this. I don't beat to death the specifications on it. If you really want to know them, look on their website. What I do is I tell you my impression of it and what I found out when I took it to the range and I ran it through a battery of tests. This particular pistol has 3-dot night sights. It's got white dots on the back and a bright orange dot on the front. That is a really good setup. It has the MOS cut for an optic. This one doesn't have one, obviously. I don't think he's going to put one on it. He may. I didn't have one laying around that would fit, so we didn't mess with that part of it. But what I can tell you is I took it out to the range, and the very first shot I fired out of it rang steel. Now that was at 25 yards and it was a half-size silhouette, so take it for what it's worth. If I did my part, I hit it every time, but I didn't do my part every time, so the pistol's certainly capable of 25 and 50 yard accuracy. We rang some gongs out at 50 with it as well. When they first came out with this pistol, for what it is, they were a tad on the pricey side. My buddy, however, picked up this one with all 5 magazines and the nice carry case, night sights. He got the whole mess for like 500 bucks online, had it shipped to his local FFL, and you know, had to pay whatever the transfer was there, 25, 30 bucks, whatever it was. So price wise, he did all right. Shooting the gun, it shoots really, really well. The trigger pull is phenomenal. I'll point out here that it's got a solid top of the slide. That has to do with the way the barrel locks up inside. It's got kind of a delayed dwell or something to reduce felt recoil. I'm not sure how it works, but it works. It shot real well. Love the gun. I don't think I would carry it for what it was intended to be carried for, though. And I say that to say this. You know, here on the tabletop, I've got my 365, which most of you know is my everyday carry gun, and I have my GX4, which is my alternate everyday carry gun. If I had to choose between the two of those merely on aesthetics and the way the thing's put together, I'd give the nod to the 365, but the GX4 is just as good, really, and $150 cheaper, maybe $200 cheaper depending on model, than the P365. So you have a representation of a higher end and a more budget friendly pocket size micro 9 pistol. And that's what we're talking about, is micro 9s. The Kimber R7 is not a micro 9. In terms of pocket size or concealability, she's a little thick. So to put that in perspective for you, I have some weights here. The Sig P365 bone dry with a magazine is 1 pound 2.4 ounces. The GX4 comes in second at 1 pound 2.6 ounces, so they're neck and neck. My Glock Model 26 comes in at 1 pound 5.6 ounces, and the Kimber tops the scales at 1 pound 6.2 ounces. The Kimber Mako, folks, is heavier than a Glock 26. So that got me thinking. I took some pictures here to show you side-by-side comparisons between the different pistols. Here I'll show you the Mako with the Sig P365. The Mako with the GX4. And the Mako with the Glock 26. You can see it in the pictures there, folks. The Kimber Mako is as big, if not a little bigger, than a Glock 26. So while it certainly is a really fantastic subcompact 9mm, it is not a micro 9 pistol. Just keep that in mind if you're thinking about getting one. So some of you might be thinking, well, Jay, it is a little bit bigger, but isn't it easier to shoot than those other two pistols? I would have to say yes, it is. The Mako is definitely easier to shoot, at least for me, than either the Sig P365 or the Taurus GX4. And it's about on par with how I shoot my Glock 26. So I guess it comes down to what you're going to use it for. If you're going to be carrying it on an inside the waistband holster, or maybe in a purse or something like that, size is really kind of irrelevant. I know for me, during my normal weekly commute, I have this gun, or sometimes this gun, in the front trouser pocket of my work pants on my way to work. It's with me everywhere I go. These two are both easy to carry. These two, not so much. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. While we headed out on the range, I fed it a variety of hollow points that did really well with everything, no hiccups. I fed it some absolute garbage Winchester USA forged. That's that rough coated steel cased crap. I had one hang up on the last round in one magazine with the Kimber Mako with that USA forged ammo. So I put it back in the magazine, I cycled it through again, it didn't quite go into battery the second time, and I felt some resistance on the slide when I was ejecting the round. So I took that round and I put it into my Sig P365 and it did the same thing. It was just an out of spec round, so you can't hold that against the Mako. Otherwise, the performance with it was flawless. Now, some of you may remember I did a little public service announcement video probably last year on some recall Kimber Makos. So I would imagine by now Kimber probably has those out of circulation, the ones that hadn't already been sold. I checked this one and it's good to go. Now I want to share with y'all something that you may not know about, and that is that if you like the side-by-side pictures that I took of these guns, I realize the lighting might not have been perfect and a picture doesn't always do justice to what you can see in real life in front of you, but you get a pretty good idea of the size comparison between the two. Are you familiar with a website called Handgun Hero? Basically what it is a dad who got on his computer and compiled images and side-by-side comparisons of many popular handguns on the market today. It has multiple adjustment features where you can adjust the transparency so you can see an overlay of one pistol to the other. I'll try to get some of that footage on here to show you how this works, but go check out that website, Handgun Hero. It really is neat if you are looking for a side-by-side comparison on something that you don't have in front of you. I tell you what, folks, I'm going to wrap this up for now. It's hot out here and I've been out in the heat all weekend, and I'm going to go in the house and relax for a little bit now, try to get this video uploaded for you folks tonight. But let me know down below what you thought of it. If you liked the video, or if you didn't like the video, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. So until next time, take care. God bless.